All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down an absolutely wild story. We're looking at how a totally ordinary kid took everyday, annoying frustrations and a terrifying lack of resources, honestly, and transformed them into a global empire that literally changed the world. Okay, let's dive right into this. $2 billion. That's the massive valuation of Carter Innovations. But here's the real kicker. The CEO behind this whole empire, he wasn't some veteran tech mogul with decades of Silicon Valley experience. Nope. He was a 22-year-old kid who built the entire company literally from scratch.
And look at this quote. This is exactly how that young CEO, Daniel Carter, opened his Stanford commencement address. 5 years ago, I was a broke kid from Ohio with a broken tool and a wild idea. I mean, talk about setting the scene, right? It really grounds us in his reality. Before the billions, the yachts, the fame, there was just raw human struggle. Section 1. The weight of ordinary.
To really grasp how Daniel pulled this off, we've got to start at chapter 1, which is all about the sheer weight of his family's financial struggles. This wasn't just, oh, we can't afford a nice vacation. It was the heavy daily burden of ordinary survival. We're pulling today's insights from The Carter Effect by Silas Emanuel. This book is an absolute masterclass. It gives us a front row seat to how you actually build and scale a business, perfectly capturing that mental shift from a mindset of total limitation to one of endless possibility.
This comparison brilliantly illustrates the stark reality Daniel is facing. On the one hand, an absolute lack of capital. We're talking a devastating $2,400 eviction notice and a $50 science fair entry fee that he just couldn't afford. But on the other hand, an absolute abundance of real-world problems. Broken mailboxes, wobbly benches, failing tools. I mean, he was literally surrounded by things that just needed fixing.
Section 2, from broken to breakthrough.
Which brings us to the pivot point. This is the exact moment he stopped seeing his circumstances as a trap and finally started seeing them as a massive opportunity. Daniel was watching his dad, a factory worker, struggling with a busted lawnmower and a totally inadequate wrench. His dad's calloused hands kept slipping just because he didn't have the right tools. And seeing that frustration sparked a question that changed the game. What if problems were just inventions waiting to happen? Right then, he envisioned this single multi-tool, something that could adjust to different sizes, pump air, even grip jars, the whole shebang.
Now, as you probably know, innovation is rarely easy. Case in point, Daniel's first prototype literally exploded at school. Yeah, it shattered a chemistry lab window and brought on a whole wave of public humiliation from his classmates. He was ready to throw in the towel, but his dad told him, quitting is the only real failure. Everything else is just learning. How great is that? So Daniel pivoted, he hit the library, studied up on metal fatigue, and painstakingly engineered a much safer, thoroughly tested version of the tool.
Section 3, winning the pitch.
That resilience led him straight into taking this new, refined prototype into a super high-stakes environment. Let's look at this timeline and trace his rapid ascent, because it's pretty wild. First, he enters a local science fair. Now, he doesn't win first place, but he does meet a crucial mentor, Dr. Marcus Valdez. Then, step 2, under Dr. Valdez's guidance, they actually form a partnership to redesign the prototype into something truly marketable. And finally, step 3, this catapults him straight to the wildly intimidating National Young Innovators Championship, where he's suddenly surrounded by all these teenage prodigies. At that championship, you've got other kids pitching, self-driving scooters and AI home automation. And Daniel? He goes with what we call the everyman pitch. He just stood on stage and authentically talked about his dad's calloused hands. He flat out said his tool wasn't going to cure diseases or explore Mars, but it would help a single mom fix a bicycle or a dad change a tire without having to pay for a $200 service call. That level of authenticity, it won him first place and $100 grand in funding.
Section 4, power over profit. Fast forward just 1 year, and Daniel's life looks entirely different. He's now a 17-year-old CEO navigating the incredibly dangerous waters of corporate success and big money. Get this, guided by his mentor, Dr. Valdez, Daniel was offered a massive $50 million corporate buyout. $50 million! That is life-changing money. But he turned it down. Crazy, right? Well, look at this quote. He realized that giving up majority ownership meant giving up control of his company's core mission to help everyday people. He chose long-term power and purpose over a quick payday.
And you know what? That integrity absolutely paid off on a national level, because shortly after that, he was sworn in at the White House Rose Garden to the Youth Innovation Advisory Council. The president herself told him to never lose his perspective, and Daniel used this massive new platform to ensure other working-class kids wouldn't have to choose between pursuing their dreams and just helping their families survive.
Section 5. The Innovation Playbook.
All right, let's pivot the explainer here. We're moving from Daniel's personal story to the concrete, actionable business lessons extracted straight from the appendix of Silas Emanuel's book. This is where you can actually apply the Carter effect to your own life. We've got 7 core principles here for turning a garage idea into a real, sustainable empire. We're talking treating problems as opportunities, finding the right mentor, valuing ownership over quick income, building scalable systems, leveraging your brand as an asset, utilizing strategic partnerships, and remembering that purpose drives success. Let's go ahead and break down a few of the most important ones.
Now, what's super interesting about these steps is how they formalize Daniel's exact process. He didn't just sit around waiting for some billion-dollar idea to magically strike. He documented daily frustrations, like his dad's busted lawnmower. He researched the market size, built a rough prototype to test his assumptions super early, and basically turned everyday struggle into actual market research. It makes you wonder, how many daily frustrations do you run into that could actually be your next big breakthrough?
Okay, so creating a great multi-tool made Daniel successful, sure. But building systems, that's what allowed him to scale to $2 billion. To do this, you literally have to document everything so processes can run entirely without you. You hire people who inherently think in systems, you automate repeatable tasks, and you measure the metrics that actually matter for predicting future success. You're building the machine that builds the product. You really have to ask yourself, are you building a scalable business, or are you just building a job for yourself? Because systems are the difference.
He also scaled massively through strategic partnerships. Daniel couldn't manufacture and distribute this thing globally all by himself. So he partnered with retailers and distributors who could fill in those capability gaps. But, and this is huge, the absolute golden rule here is to maintain strategic control. You can never, ever become completely dependent on any single partner, or you essentially lose all your power.
I absolutely love this punchy maxim from the book. Profit without purpose is just greed with better marketing. Daniel's company didn't just survive, it thrived because his crystal clear mission to empower ordinary people attracted the absolute best employees, incredibly loyal customers, and really patient investors. At the end of the day, true power isn't about what you can take from the world. It's about the value you give back to it.
Which brings us to the end of today's explainer. And I want to leave you with this final, really empowering question, straight from Silas Emanuel's book. Look at your own life, your own struggles, your own environment. What problem are you uniquely qualified to solve? Because the game isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building something that actually matters. So take a look around, find that broken tool in your own life, and go build your empire.